eminences, respected fathers, dear friends, Christ has risen. Pemptousia, before it appeared on the internet, was in printed form, was published in printed form. Those who read it described it as a magazine, as a review of very rich content, high aesthetics and quality. The transition from the printed form to the electronic form coincided in time with a big shifting from the print press to electronic media. During that time, it was the beginning of the great debate on ethical, psychological, spiritual, and social problems due to the abuse or wrong use of the internet. We participated and still participate in this public debate, and we felt the anxiety experienced by society at large for a network, for an internet which was full of traps and dangers. And now I shall share a little secret with you. I will never forget the president shouting at us, scolding us, telling us that we still haven't got an internet conscience. So our most important care was to have a content which would be in the spirit of what Pemptousia, what we wanted Pemptousia to be. And what was that? What was the objective? What was the purpose of Pemptousia? We live daily, we experience daily what the modern or postmodern man goes through, still trying to find desperately his identity. There was a thirst that needed to be quenched, and at the same time to fill the soul. And to fill the soul and give joy. And we found this in the beauty which is live and fresh. This beautiful, live and fresh notion and thing is the Orthodox Christian tradition, which embraced all creations of the human spirits, of civilization and science, from Aristotle to Photius the Great, from Homer to Saint Simeon the theologian, from Praxiteles to Rublev, from Plutarch to Dostoevsky. It is in fact this organic relationship between religion, science and culture that is the basis of a philocalic and ascetic contemplation of life and the world. This is precisely what Pemptousia wants humbly to serve. Man in all his phases and versions, from childhood to old age. A man as universality, irrespective of origin, of gender or language. This last aspect, man as universality, caused us some headaches because it was not an easy thing. However, we took the decision to translate Pemptousia in 4 languages apart from Greek: Russian, English, Romanian and Georgian. not an easy decision to put to practice. There are texts and interviews with a great depth, but which have to be translated with as much exactness as possible, which of course entails a lot of work and cost. However, the very positive response and reaction that we have gives us the stamina, the strength, and the fortitude to get over the obstacles and continue. There is another something that we did not have time to announce on the internet. It is the Webby Awards. And ascetic experience where we have the photography and spirituality. It rests the eye, and the deeper meanings are revealed. We could, in closing, I should like to thank all those who work in the editors team in Pemptousia for their work, for their alertness, for their readiness. No matter how much they do, however, if there was not the spirit of love and offer, we need to thank from the bottom of our heart all those external workers who gave us, who entrusted us with texts. They are our own people, pilgrims along the same path. And to another thing, in Pemptousia, we don't have the feeling that we only give. We have a very strong feeling that we also receive. We provide work, but we get love in return by our visitors who are anything but passive readers. We have messages every day with important information and very accurate and relevant remarks. Therefore, Pemptousia is something living and dynamic, not static at all on the internet, which made us change our format. This is why we want to thank the visitors of Pemptousia. They are the final users and our strength. I'm not going to talk to you about what Pemptousia is. All you have to do is click and you will find out. We shall finish with some interviews that really marked our course.
Η Πempτουσία στο διαδίκτυο, πολιτισμός, επιστήμες, θρησκεία.
So Pemptousia in the internet, culture, sciences, religion.
And I'd never seen such beautiful humility before God. And people were crossing themselves so beautifully and saying, Lord, have mercy.
Η αγάπη διατηρείται για το σεβασμό και τις αποστάσεις και τις ελευθερίες. Τρία πράγματα. Αγαπάς διότι...
It is truth. It's not an idea or a philosophy. The truth is a person, God.
Use the notion of kenosis, self-emptying, only with regard to Christ's incarnation. But Father Sophroni in his theology saw the act of creation as already an act of self-emptying. God, as it were, limits his omnipotence in order to make room for what is not himself.
Στο μοναστήρι έχουν αγιογραφικό οίκο, όπως ξέρετε στα μοναστήρια. Έχουν διάφορα, είναι...
In the monastery there is a library and a publishing house. The monastery is a real university. In 3 months I learned how to paint icons. It took me 3 months to learn Greek. The purpose of a Christian life is for our mind to connect with our heart, because then we are cured, we are complete, and we can turn to God, fulfilling His command.
Και ο κόσμος στους πνευματικούς.
People don't go to confession, to church anymore as they used to. Now the time has come for us to go down to the pavements, to the cafes. Elitis, the poet, said, memory of my people, your name is Pindos, the mountain of Pindos, and Mount Athos. The memory, collective memory in Greece is Pindos, that is the heroes of 1940 fighting for the country, and Athos. Zeus took pity on the animal, not on the child who died. A god was needed that would love man. Once you meet God, He disappears in order for you not to look for Him. He's everywhere, you see. Leon Bloom says that one day I will appear in the court of God, before God, and I will tell Him, Lord, I forgave those who killed me in following your example. You're not going to ask for anything. Imagine a child who is expecting to be punished when he is forgiven. Will he ever forget this? The word nevma, sign, it is the theanthropos. There is these two hypostases which guarantee an opening. I asked him, how do you feel here? What are you doing in the desert at 86 years old? What temptations do you have? Many temptations. What I haven't seen, what I haven't tasted. Why do you have these temptations, do you think? Because he wants to steal my last breath. Man does whatever he does in order to vanquish death, in order not to die. So he has found the joy, when he has found the joy of the resurrection, that gives him strength to live in hope and not in despair, as modern man does. Made by the way of life as it is. The joy of the resurrection helps us face the very sad reality. Only this spiritual strength can help us. I consider myself very happy for having found myself here among these people, because in their faces I found my father, my mother, and brothers, that is, all those I left behind in order to come here.
Τι και χαριτωμένη
Η αλήθεια βρίσκεται στο μέλλον.
The truth lies in the future, as it was revealed in the person of Christ. A positive dimension of life, a hopeful side of life that fills us with confidence, makes us fearless. In fact, he incites us through example to act like he did. He didn't want us to feel that we were being coerced or forced. Hieron Paisios said that I have so much joy in me, I don't know what to do with it. I wish I could put it into batteries to stock it up in order to use it when in need. He did not say this in order to impress anybody, but this is the experience of the church. Saint Silouanos Athonitis prayed and said, "Please God, don't give me any more joy because my heart can't take it. It will break."